Sometimes talent is obvious, the biggest force in the room, the loudest voice. Sometimes skill turns to genius and genius turns to fame, and fame turns to celebrity. You can't miss it. But sometimes, in rare and often marvelous cases, talent sneaks up and takes the world by surprise. Someone who's been working hard at their craft, largely unnoticed, suddenly bursts upon the international scene and makes everyone wonder where they came from, even though they've been here all along. Dustin "the Diamond" Poirier captured the hearts of MMA fans and pundits on a global scale in early 2021 with his high-profile defeat of celebrity fighter and fellow lightweight Conor McGregor. But Poirier has been a fixture in MMA, and specifically the UFC, for at least a decade, quietly going about his business, defeating some of the division's biggest names, and giving back to the community as he climbed the rankings. Despite his work ethic, his skills, and his well-deserved record, Poirier has largely managed to avoid the spotlight and the fame that can come with combat sports celebrity. This hasn't seemed to bother him much. Poirier publicly denounces the pitfalls of fame. But now that he's more recognized than ever before, fight fans and analysts worldwide are looking more closely at his career up until this point, trying to predict where it might go. It seems a better time than any to ask, just how good is Dustin Poirier actually? And how far can that talent take him? Like, share, and subscribe to the Ultimate Fighting Network as we discover how good Dustin "the Diamond" Poirier actually is. Dustin Poirier was born and raised in Lafayette, Louisiana, and to say that his birthplace has had an effect on his life and career is an understatement. From a scrappy street fighting youth, Poirier grew up to train in mixed martial arts and turned professional in 2009. But he still lives in Lafayette and supports the community through his charity, the Good Fight Foundation, and other outreach projects. Before his career in the UFC began through a merger with World Extreme Cage Fighting, most of Poirier's early fights were regional bouts. When he joined the UFC, he had a record of 9-1, making him a likely talent to watch. Despite this, Poirier had a difficult time getting his star to truly rise, even as he climbed through the UFC rankings and started appearing higher and higher on the pound-for-pound lists. Often outshone in the media by celebrity fighters in his division like Conor McGregor, Poirier pushed through occasionally and got the attention of the fight community in some high-profile bouts, but never quite broke through into the global consciousness until his victorious rematch against McGregor in January 2021.
I don't doubt myself ever, really. I'm always nervous and stuff, you know. I don't shy or hide away or try to act like I'm not. I'm definitely nervous. Because I know however prepared I am, I can do everything right and be 100% ready, and you get in there and it's the unknown, you know. You can be prepared and still lose. That part is always in the back of my head, but the doubt, I believe in my skills, man, and I trust in myself when things get gritty and I need to rely on me to pull through. I really do have a strong trust and belief in myself and my perseverance in there.
Thanks for sticking around. There's more coming. Please help support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. So how good is Dustin Poirier actually? Recently, as he's gained more widespread notoriety, more analysts are taking a closer look at Poirier's skills in the octagon. What they've unearthed is a fighter who learns from his mistakes, adapts in the cage, and leans on a carefully honed fighting instinct and killer timing. It's been noted that Poirier is a talented striker, and that's where much of his skill set lies. Poirier's main focus in his striking, by a huge percentage, is to his opponent's heads. This heightens the opportunity for knockout in a swift end of the match, of course, while also wearing an opponent down. That's often Poirier's greatest weapon, and by the same token, perhaps, where his weakness is. In the cage, if you can neutralize Poirier's well-timed blows to the head, you have a much better shot at defeating him. For example, it should be noted that Khabib Nurmagomedov managed to do this through his heavy focus on wrestling, but most of Poirier's opponents don't seem to get that far. He's not the fastest fighter working today, nor is he the strongest or most agile. What Poirier has to his greatest advantage is impeccable timing, an instinct he has only honed as his career has progressed. He's able to time his strikes just right to make sure they go where they'll cause the most damage. He doesn't waste anything. Even unsuccessful moves can wear down an opponent, sap their energy. Even on the ground, Poirier doesn't shy away from his opponent's action. He welcomes it, hoping to use it to his advantage and make sure they drain first. Like any truly talented fighter, Poirier doesn't just follow a strict strategy for himself in the cage. He adapts to his opponent's rhythm in an effort to disrupt it. In his best fights, he doesn't give his opponents any space to use their advantages. He cuts them off and applies pressure until he can secure victory through his well-timed attacks. He switches up his tactics as needed, And his record of 27-6 attests that this has been a good strategy in his career so far. In a way, Poirier's unassuming persona, largely soft-spoken, considerate, and good-humored, has kept him relatively invisible compared to other, more vocal celebrity fighters in the organization. But this low profile has also been an asset, allowing him to build goodwill over time with fellow fighters and the fans who followed him throughout his career. He truly loves the sport of MMA, the experience of being in the cage. Everything else falls away. There's no popularity, no fame, just the sport, the craft.
That's what keeps me in love with this whole thing, is that there's that's the light, that's the light at the end of the tunnel for me, is that no matter what, all these articles and all this other stuff, and everybody, even the way fighters are getting known nowadays, talking trash and doing all this stuff, it's just so gross to me. I'm just so happy that fighting is always going to remain the truth. You know, none of that stuff matters. What matters is the fight, and there's no hiding or faking that.
Now that his name is more well known on a global scale, he's likely to be closely watched, especially as title shot talk gets louder. How good is Dustin Poirier actually? Good enough that the whole world is watching to see how far this instinctual, analytical, well-regarded fighter will go. What do you think about Dustin Poirier? How good is he actually? Comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching the Ultimate Fighting Network.